Hello, everyone. My name is Jalecia, and I am a senior at Johnson High School, and I work for a company called Power Systems. Most people do not remember much from when they are 2, but I clearly remember one day in particular. I was living with my grandma and my mom, and on this one day, men busted through the doors of our typically quiet apartment. They had guns and bulletproof vests. It was the FBI that came rushing through the door, circulating through our entire apartment. They were looking for my mom, and in less than a minute, they found what they were looking for. My mother was practically dragged out of the door, and at the time, I had no idea as to why. She was only 18, so it was hard to imagine why it was necessary for all those people to come into my home just for one young girl. I didn't know who the FBI was, and I certainly did not know why they took my mom. Most importantly, I did not know that this event would cause some of the biggest trials that I would ever face in my 17 years of life. My mom was charged with conspiracy and drug trafficking, and it did not help that she was also in a relationship with the leader of a gang who had recently been convicted for attempted murder and was also my sister's father. My mother was sentenced to 4 years in a prison that was located in West Virginia. She left the day after I turned 3. At first, I was told that she was at school, and it was pretty believable since the prison didn't look like the ones that you see in the movies. The visiting area looked like a cafeteria, and then there was a park outside for children like me that were visiting family members. I went back and forth between my grandma and my dad's house while my mom was away, and I was 7 years old when she came home. I remember family, friends, and people from my congregation all being there to welcome her when she got off that bus. Her bus was one of the last ones to pull into the station, so my excitement had built up and I was very anxious. She was home, and I thought everything was going to be all right. My mom could finally be my mom. I was extremely wrong, though, and I wish that I would have known that half of my days being a child were over and that I would soon have to become a mature adolescent. My mom had not been in the real world for 4 years, so once she was reintroduced to it, she went right back to her old lifestyle. She was a bipolar alcoholic, and I had a front row seat to watch all of her ups and downs. My sister and I would stay at her place a few days a week, but my mom was usually working or she was out partying. I would wake up in the middle of the night and she would just be gone. Sometimes she would disappear for weeks at a time and would call me from either out of town, a hospital bed, or even from jail. She would have a new boyfriend every few months, and she swore that each one was going to be her husband. A child between the age of 8 and 12 usually doesn't know any better but to believe their parent, so I continually got my hopes up, thinking that she would get better and be the mother that I deserved. Each time I ended up disappointed, but I still had to be optimistic and strong because I had my sister looking up to me for reassurance. My optimism was due to my mom giving me hope. She would mess up and then she would redeem herself by acting like a real mother. She's the one who taught me how to swim, how to ride a bike, how to rollerblade, and even how to ice skate. When she was around and sober, she was a great mother, and I didn't understand why I couldn't be like that all the time. My favorite place that she used to take me was Chutes and Ladders. It's a large park in Edina, and we would spend hours there. She wasn't the type of parent to just sit and watch their child play. She would run around, climb through the tunnels, and go down the slides with us. Somehow, through all the issues, I found a way to build some type of bond with the woman that was supposed to be my mother. But instead of her being the mother, I assumed the role of mommy as young as 8. That love for my mother is what made me feel obligated to put up with all the drama, even though no one else in my family would even speak to her. It was like I was the only one that still believed in her. I was her emotional support. My grandmother and my dad played a very active role in my life, and if it weren't for them, I honestly don't know where I would be. My grandma provided the stability that I badly needed, and I knew that even if my mom went MIA, that my grandma was still going to be there for my sister and I. My dad especially pushed me in school and encouraged me to do anything that I wanted. To this day, he still tells me that I need to make sure that I'm always proud of whatever it is I am doing. And the only way for me to do that is to work as hard as possible to reach all of my goals. That applies to school, extracurricular activities, and even regarding my religion. Their support is what helped me to take all advanced courses and actually get the top grades in almost all of them, despite me being one of the few, if not only, biracial kids in the class. I wanted to prove the stereotypes about me wrong and be an example for those that come from single-parent homes. I also wanted to learn from my parents' mistakes and to achieve more than they did at my current age. I learned that with my hard work and determination, I could do anything. I heard about Genesys Works from a peer that was in class 5, so I attended an informational meeting about the program. I was instantly set on being a part of the opportunity to be trained in IT and professional skills, and to actually do well so I could earn an internship. Since I have a history of consistently being disappointed by those around me, I find it very difficult to depend on people. I used to not like simple things like group projects or social events. Genesys Works forced me to step out of my comfort zone and reach out to my fellow young professionals. And at first, it was uncomfortable being assigned in groups with people I did not know nor trust. But when I discovered that my classmates shared the same type of goals that I did, I was able to break through my reluctance to get close to those around me. It was refreshing to be with young people that were planning for the future just like I was. I am currently a PSEO student at Concordia University, and I also work for a company called Power Systems, and I have the privilege to work on a team of 4 in the Information Systems Department. My mother is aware and very proud of my completion of my Genesys Works class and my successful start at Power. I've been able to make my whole entire family proud and hopefully become a good example to all of my siblings. Despite the trials that I've gone through in my life, I am grateful for the experience Genesys Works has given me, and I'm looking forward to pursuing a degree in computer engineering. Thank you.